finish is the only thing that's on our minds right now.
Walking New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Hurts keeps it. Touchdown!
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Mahomes, he'll keep it. Puts his right shoulder into the end zone.
Hurts is going to throw. Touchdown! A.J. Brown!
Scary, spooky, hilarious. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
Everybody up! These are the moments that we play for! Playoff Pat to playoff Kelsey!
Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
Welcome inside with the Insiders, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Alongside Mike Garafolo, Judy Batista, and Ian Rappaport, I am Tom Pelissero. We come to you tonight from an active construction zone. It's Friday night on Radio Row. Yep. Other shows, all right, other shows have decided 5 days was enough of Super Bowl coverage. Not the Insiders.
The show
We're
rolls
still
on.
live.
Goes on.
On Friday night, there's forklifts.
We're not bleeping leaving.
There's a lot of beeps around.
A lot of beeps.
Anybody else left? There's literally no one behind us except for the guys driving Bobcats. But we are here with you. Nico Collins is going to be on the show. We've got a ton to get to. Just 2 days out now from Super Bowl 59. It is Chiefs and Eagles once again set to kick off just about 48 hours from right now. And our intrepid reporters have been with those two teams throughout the entire week. Cameron Wolf with the Chiefs, Jade Slater with the Eagles. I will start out with Cam, whose suit really has been brought out by the backdrop of the bright lights of New Orleans around him. Now we got it. I think you can make that edge. Cam, the final injury reports are out. Final injury reports are out. Tell me what we know about those Chiefs.
Well, Tom, the Chiefs are healthy. They're fully healthy, the healthiest they've been all season, and we're getting ready for game mode. We're middle French Quarter. There's all the cars in New Orleans possibly in the street. The car just rolled past me bumping Juvenile, and I just saw a band of middle school and high school kids just go into Chiefs Hotel, which is a sea of red. But for the team, they started off this morning, Friday morning, with the practice at Tulane. They practiced for about 70 minutes, just helmets. They haven't done a lot heavy this week, but they are fully healthy, as they've been all week. The only thing to note, Sky Moore, who was on injured reserve, is doubtful, not expected to play, but that's no big surprise for them on that side of things. But it is a family day for the Chiefs. All the family and friends come into town. I saw some players hugging family members this morning as they came into the hotel. I saw some of Patrick Mahomes' family walking around in the streets. So much is going on here. Jason Kelsey walked past us about a couple hours ago, and he was not recognized by anyone, which is crazy given how recognizable he is. He was not wearing green or red, neutral colors. We'll see what he does on Sunday.
Smart man now in the media, though I got a wild guess who we might be cheering for come Sunday. As for you, Jane, the Eagles have been a little beat up over the past several weeks here. How do we look as that final injury report comes out for Philly?
Yeah, Brandon Graham is the one we're really keeping an eye on. You know, they activated him, and, well, they haven't activated him yet. They called him up. We'll see if he is a go on Sunday, but they have until 4 o'clock on Saturday to let that happen. Now, he has, of course, been practicing in a limited capacity. But, you know, when you talk to the guys, they say that he is talking trash. He's moving around. It was Nick Sirianni this week who told me they just want to see how he's striking. It was an hour-long practice today. Little bit of lighter work. That's the typical schedule they have if this was a normal game week. And they're trying to keep it as normal as possible. They did some team drills. They really wanted to work on some of the situational awareness in the red zone. But, yeah, it was a good practice today. They'll have a mock game tomorrow. They'll have the team photo. And this is family night. The hotel over here is full of family, guests, friends. So they're getting a little bit of downtime before all the craziness. And I love that you brought up that Travis Kelce's just walking around. No one notices him. We've seen that with players. I saw Darius Slay out here. No one recognized him. We saw Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's just how much activity is going. And, you know, I had to wear a loud jacket because Cam has got such a beautiful backdrop. Not as aesthetically appealing behind me here at the team hotel, but I thought I'd have a little fun with this, guys. Hold on.
We got to get this wide. Let's see it.
There we go.
There it is. Makes me want to say E-L-G-S.
No longer welcome back to Dallas, by the way.
You definitely missed the G.
Sports make it fashion. I did see Jerry Jones last night. He was less pleased that this was my assignment this week, so I think my credentials under review next season.
Jade, Cameron, thank you very much. Much more from you guys leading up to kickoff. But first, this.
And the AP Most Valuable Player presented by Invisalign is Josh Allen.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Joel and Levon, my parents, who in my 20-plus years of playing football, going down to Pop Warner, I bet you they've missed maybe 15 games in their entire life. They are so dedicated to supporting me and my favorite teammates, who are my sister, my brother, and my little sister, Nicola, Jason, and McKenna. Thank you guys for all the support, all the time, money, energy wasted growing up, from going from meet to game to practice every day. I love you guys. I know you take a lot of pride in this as well. And last but not least, my fiance, Haley, who you've been my rock. You are my best friend. I would not be standing on the stage if it weren't for you. So with that being said, be good, do good, God bless, and go Bills.
All the NFL's major awards handed out last night at the Sanger Theater. Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year, Saquon Barkley, Pat Surtain, Jaden Daniels, Jared Verse taking home the hardware. But no award more surprising, at least to the audience, both inside that theater as well as across the NFL, than Josh Allen as the MVP. Yeah. Ian, you were there inside the theater. So was Mike. So was I. Judy was hopefully getting a little bit of extra sleep. What stood out to you from last night?
Judy was definitely working, by the way. I got you, Judy. The MVP winner did stand out to me. That was hard to watch in a good way. Like, it was a little bit emotional. Felt like that last night too. And rarely do we get that sort of collective gasp. Like, there's not that many surprises with these awards. That's what it felt like last night. It was like, oh, because Josh Allen beat Lamar after Lamar Jackson was the all-pro quarterback. To me, though, this felt right. Now, this is not an argument about whether or not Lamar Jackson performed better this season or whether Lamar Jackson's stats are better. If you did that comparison, you would say Lamar Jackson probably should be winning this award. That's not this award. This is the most valuable player, and considering where the Bills were, where the franchise was, in transition, getting rid of a lot of high-priced guys before the season. Stephon Diggs obviously headed out of town. The absolute and incredible value of Josh Allen is something that stood out to me. He took a team that should not have been deep in the playoffs, threw them on his back, and took them deep into the playoffs in an unbelievable season. Josh Allen deserved this award, absolutely, and I thought it was very cool to see him get it.
It was a great moment. I always think the emotional high point of honors is the Hall of Fame class being introduced. And I have to say, I was a little disappointed that it didn't take that long to introduce this class, because it is a very, very small class this year. The rules were changed about voting, and so as a result, we didn't get a coach go in. We didn't get it would have been Mike Holmgren, by the way. We didn't get a contributor go in, and we had only 3 modern era players go in and 1 senior. They're all worthy candidates. I just like more Hall of Famers. I like to see great players and coaches and contributors celebrated. I feel like Halls of Fame are museums for the sport, and so you want as many important people in them as possible. And frankly, I will use this opportunity to say, I hope the Hall of Fame reconsiders its voting policy, because I hope we don't have a smaller class like this again next year.
There's a logjam at a number of positions. Wide receiver, our colleague Steve Smith, we're waiting to see him get in. We've got Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne ahead of them, so for them to not get in, now you're adding more players to the mix. Larry Fitzgerald's going to join the conversation. That's only going to make things harder. So yes, I agree with you, Judy. There should be a minimum number of players that get in, because there are players deserving to get in. For me, being in that theater last night, I thought a lot of the right notes were hit. the in memoriam segment where Big Sam Williams played the trombone, and it was New Orleans style. It was more of an upbeat musical number than you see during that, because that's how they roll down here with their funerals. I thought that was right on point, and the recent tragedy in New Orleans was addressed as well. So the Sanger Theater was I don't know if it always looks like that, with the Mardi Gras decorations that were up there as well. I thought it was a great scene. I thought Snoop Dogg did a great job. He's not going to be like Nikki Glaser, who also made an appearance, whom Ian got a picture with.
Great
I was
selfie
unable
with
to
Nikki
because they
Glaser.
were yelling at me to
Great
get in the
selfie.
car already.
Yeah, it's
Ian
a great
got
picture.
picture
Came
with
up
her.
fast.
Ian, not even a fan, and got a picture with
I told her I wasn't a fan, too. We got a great picture.
And that's something she would appreciate. The MVP balloting, by the way, we talk about that being a surprise. Sufficiently controversial just from the confusion that the AP made the rare, I believe, unprecedented step of releasing not just who the voters are and the vote totals, but who voted for who. It goes to show there were enough people questioning the process of how we got there and how the all-pro quarterback would not end up being the MVP over the guy who was not the first team all-pro quarterback. But when I did a survey back in December of NFL executives like I do every year, Josh Allen was the winner in that survey as well. So to Ian's point, certainly a deserving honor. Sam Darnold got a handful of fifth-place votes for that award, since it is now ranked voting for the MVP award. His future in Minnesota or elsewhere at this point remains up in the air. Now, we saw a couple of different comments from Kevin O'Connell, who deservedly won the Coach of the Year from down the same aisle that I was sitting in last night, about Sam Darnold's future. Here's really where we seem to stand, Mike. There are a variety of ways that this could go with Sam Darnold. They could get a deal done with him. The tag is an option. Tag and trade is an option. They have a guy in J.J. McCarthy, but they also know that Sam Darnold was somebody that the team rallied around as they won 14 games last season. This is not a black and white type of deal. A lot of it's going to come down to the value.
And he didn't take a snap for them, but Daniel Jones is also potentially there for them as an option as well. They do have a little bit of experience working with him toward the end of the season. The question is, do you tag him? And if you don't tag him, that allows other teams to now get into the mix. And just down at the Senior Bowl last week, where these things start to materialize and everybody starts to put some feelers out, you know that there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be available. The first name that came up, I'd say 95, if not 100% of the time when I talk to teams potentially in need of quarterbacks and those that might be available, was Sam Darnold. So that bodes well for Darnold's prospects with regard to having multiple suitors here. Look, things were right for him. It was a great offensive system, a great offensive coach, a great offensive coaching staff, and all these weapons that you're seeing right here. But there's other teams that are saying, hey, we can get him into our building. He's shown us his ability. I think he's going to have a great market.
Well, there'll certainly be a very good market for Sam Darnold. I thought this was an interesting quote which came from Kevin O'Connell, I think last night. I don't know if it happened at the theater or afterwards, but he said he's earned the right to really explore what it means to be a Pro Bowl quarterback, which sure sounds to me like Kevin O'Connell is suggesting that he's earned the right to test free agency and see what free agency looks like for him. That's an interesting comment coming from a head coach about a quarterback. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's gone, just means that maybe they think he should be testing the market and see what the market looks like, maybe go back to them when they see what the price is. Awfully interesting comments from Kevin O'Connell.
And Sam Darnold has experienced aging, so certainly we'll have a very good idea what that market is going to be prior to the franchise tag deadline.
Correct.
There's a lot of, again, moving parts that goes into it, but in a free agent class that is basically Darnold, Russell Wilson, and a bunch of quarterbacks from the 2021 draft class who all got traded and moved on, Darnold is clearly the one that people will be focused on. Tyreek Hill, meanwhile, has had an interesting few months, from obviously a rough start to the season, running with police prior to week one, then playing without his quarterback, then deciding he didn't feel like finishing that final game of the season. Said after week 18, he was done in Miami. Doors closed and it was fun, but I'm moving on. Now striking a slightly different tone.
Like, we all want to win. Tua, he's another competitor. He's a hell of a competitor. A lot of people don't know that. He's a winner. He's consistent. So I'm looking forward to, just us continuing to build our relationship, man, even more.
I love it.
And this is my public apology.
I love that this is important. Is that what that is? Please.
This is my public apology to you, Tua. I love you, bro.
But take it. I mean, are you sort of wanting to say you're sorry to your team?
Oh God, yeah. But but they already know that though. Like they know I'm not that kind of player though. I like, a lot of people may say, oh, Reek is a hothead. He's this, he's that. But all my teammates know, bro. Like, I come to work every day. I bust my tail. I show up to meetings on time, and I do what I got to do, bro.
Tyreek echoed similar thoughts in his tour around Radio Row earlier today. We heard Mike McDaniel in after the season say it's been made clear, they had talked, we've made clear to him that that is not going to be tolerated in the future. At least sounds, listening to Tyreek, like he is willing and open to continuing to heed that advice and move forward in Miami.
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill in his various interviews was pretty clear that he wants to come back to Miami and he believes he's coming back to Miami. Now, in other comments, he stated that he would never leave, and reporters wondered early in the season, could he potentially be someone who'd be traded? He said, tell my agent, keep me in Miami. Like, this is clearly a guy whose future is in Miami. So at the end of the season, he was not in a good place. He was asked to stop by reporters to talk to them. He eventually did and said a sort of like hot-headed comment, right? Basically said, I'm out. I did not think he handled that well. I thought he handled today very well. He was apologetic. He explained himself. He sort of set the record straight and set a better path moving forward, knowing that what he did, asking him to come off the field, was just not cool. This was a very good version of Tyreek Hill that the Miami Dolphins saw today. And to me, barring something insane, which sometimes we see in the NFL offseason, it seems like Tyreek Hill is not going anywhere.
Let me take this back to Myles Garrett, who started the week with a public trade request.
I remember.
And said that he took the time after the season to really reflect before he made what he called the toughest decision of his life. This is why. Because you're in that moment, you're in the locker room, let's say, after a game, late in the season, you're disappointed. Certainly if you're Tyreek Hill, you're thinking about the possibility of your former team once again going to the Super Bowl, and you had visions of doing that with the Miami Dolphins, and that hasn't really happened. This is why the players take the time a lot of times before they make those decisions, and that's why maybe perhaps Tyreek Hill should have done that, why Myles Garrett should have done that. I'm stalling. I'm waiting for them to fix what's happening in Tom's ear. I'm pretty sure that was happening. That's why I was leaning off camera. I don't know if we've got it. Hello, do you have us, Los Angeles?
It's almost as if having a lot of construction vehicles driving around might make it disadvantageous.
Ran over
the
something.
technology continuing to come through. We got the monitor blinking. I can't hear a thing. You know what we do have, though? We got an NFL game in Dublin, Ireland, now official. Long rumored and believed it was going to happen. It's going to be the Steelers serving as the host team of the 2025 NFL Dublin game. A huge moment, certainly, for the Rooney family, getting to go to Ireland for the Steelers, and the NFL tapping into yet another international market. We got a lot more to come here on Insiders. That includes another look at this game on Sunday, Super Bowl 59. It's the Chiefs and the Eagles. What type of difference could the head coaches make? Andy Reid versus Nick Sirianni for the second time in 3 years. Coming up after this, we got Texans wide receiver Nico Collins joining the show. A wild season in Houston. There were injuries. There was a late season run. Took the Chiefs to the limit. What is Nico looking at moving forward after the team changed offensive coordinators? What are the expectations next season and beyond?
Wrap.
We'll talk about it next on The Insiders, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I was shocked to find out a couple of minutes ago that this was the first time this guy has made a Pro Bowl. Texans wide receiver Nico Collins, with a monster year in 2023, was an alternate. This year, despite a little bit of missed time, still puts up another 1,000 yards. They get it right. He's in the Pro Bowl. Now he's with us on The Insiders.
Yes,
Nico Collins, along with Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Can't complain. Out here in New Orleans, enjoying it. Super Bowl weekend. No complaints at all.
So what goes on for you after the season? Are you a getaway immediately guy?
Yeah.
Do you get right back into training? Like, how do you approach it?
I feel like right after the season, I like to lay on the couch, kick my feet up a little bit, relax, couch naps, eat food, and really relax, hit my mind of everything. And then I might book a trip. Me and my girl might, do that. But I feel like for the most part, I'm a real chill guy after the season. Yes, sir.
So this was I think it's fair to say, this is a weird season, okay, for the Texans. You guys have all the talent. You bring in extra dudes. Everybody gets hurt, including you, right? Early on in the season.
Yeah.
You fight your way back. You get into the playoffs again here.
Yes, sir.
But then you end with another disappointment. You take the Chiefs to the wire, but you end in disappointment again. How do you assess the 2024 season, specifically for the Houston Texans?
Yeah. I feel like, you said it, man. It was due to a lot of injuries. We kind of went down, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, man, we got the right pieces, the right people, the right coaches in the right positions. And I feel like we know what type of guys we have in the locker room. And I feel like we know where we want to go. And I feel like the main thing is just got to be healthy, man. Just continue to be ourselves and taking one game at a time. You know, we know what type of energy, no type of people we have, and we know what type of games we can really go and prevail. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for us, we got to continue to grow, continue to take one game at a time, and just have fun and be us.
You guys have had some changes on your coaching staff.
Yes,
Obviously, Bobby Sloak is out. Nick Caley is in.
Yes, sir.
What did you think of the change, and then what do you know about Nick Caley, your new offensive coordinator?
I don't know much about Nick Caley, but I know from his previous years at the Rams, you know, they had a great offense, explosive offense. You know, just watching Puka, Cup just go crazy. You know, just watching guys run around the field, make plays. So I'm assuming, man, you know, it's gonna be the same way when he comes. You know, I can't wait to meet him. You know, so it's gonna be a great year for us. You know, new OC, but I feel like we got the same guys, same mindset. You know, coming ready to work. You know, can't wait to meet him, get ready for OTAs, learn the playbook. You know, and get going.
So despite all those challenges you guys had this season, you gave the Chiefs one of the toughest games they had in the playoffs. If you're advising the Eagles, somebody calls you up and is just like, hey, Nico, how do we get after these guys? What would be your advice?
You got to go all out, man. Be sharp on your details, man. That's a great team. That's a great unit. It's the reason why they go back-to-back every year. It's the reason why they win, man. That's a solid team. And I feel like in order to beat them boys, man, you got to be sharp on your details. You know, it's always that one play or that one thing. Once you cut that film on, like, that could have been the difference. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's where we are. I feel like that's the next step we got to take. You know, we got all the pieces, all the right pieces in the world, man. And but in order to get here, I feel like we got to take that step, and I feel like we will, definitely.
So you mentioned taking that step. Your quarterback, C.J. Stroud, is, I would say, actually sort of in a similar position to you, where he has established himself as really, really good, but has won a playoff game, but has not gotten to where obviously Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes has gotten. How good do you think CJ can be, and when do you think he will be in that conversation with some of these guys?
Man, CJ is great. He's great now. You know, since he came in, man, you could tell his mindset and leadership to lead is amazing. You know, the way he carries himself, he doesn't feel like a rookie. You know, now in his second year, you know, it doesn't feel like that. You know, but the dude's special, man. The sky's the limit for him, man. You can see it every Sunday, every rep. You know, any ball he throws, man, dude, he got it. And I feel like for us, just continue to grow, continue to find that next step, and continue to have that growth mindset. You know, I feel like, man, the sky's the limit for everybody on the team. And I just can't wait for next year, everybody get back in the building, man, so we just pick up where we left off. You know, we left bad taste, you know, in our mouths, you know, leaving KC. You know, so we know what it takes. We know what we got to do to make that next jump. And so I feel like we all decided and locked in right now.
How does that impact the internal expectations? I know you guys always are shooting. Everybody's trying to win a championship, but 2023, you're like the surprise team. You're fun. And, hey, D'Amico and CJ, they're kind of out of nowhere. This year you have more pressure on you. And, again, it was a bumpy season. You still got there. But are you starting to get to that point where it's, hey, we gotta get to the Super Bowl. We got to win in the Super Bowl or it's a disappointment?
Like you said, man, like we know what it takes. We right there. You know, we just right there. Barely, like, we right there, man. Just one game away. And I feel like just for us, man, we know what it takes. And we just got to have everybody available around that time, especially towards the back end of the season, man. It's a marathon, you know, and I feel like that's when you got to be playing your best ball, you know, if you want to continue to go where you want to go. And for us, we got to figure it out. And I feel like we will. I'm not stressing about it. I love this team, man. I love the guys. And I can't wait to link up with everybody when we get back in the building, for sure.
All right, let's nerd out a little bit. Okay, we got some great receivers in this game. We got A.J. Brown. We got Devontae Smith.
For sure.
We got DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
What do you like about their games? Take me through what you see on the field from those guys.
Which one?
You know,
all those guys.
Yeah, just kind of take me through some of the receivers. Like Devontae, what do you like? A.J., what do you like?
A.J. Brown, man. A.J. Brown, he's a dog. He's physical. The way he just runs slants, man, the way he get open, it's easy. Devontae Smith, man, just light on his feet. You know, I feel like he's nasty. He's a playmaker, game changer. You know what I'm saying? Those receivers are nice, man. And I feel like it's going to be a great matchup this Sunday. It is. To see the Wild Outs go out there, have fun, make plays. You know, A.J. Brown, man, I've been watching him for a while, especially at Ole Miss, man. I love his game. Love the way he just go about his business, man. Him and Devontae Smith, bro, I love it. You know, so I can't wait to watch them boys, you know, shine on Sunday.
So next year, you wanted to go to the Pro Bowl games this year, but you know that means also you're not in this game.
For
so
sure,
next time around, that game's in Santa Clara.
That's all
Hopefully
good.
we're seeing you there,
It's all
Nico.
good. Absolutely.
Thanks a ton for stopping by,
sir.
man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
We are less than 48 hours from Super Bowl 59. Our Cameron Wolf and James Slater are perched, camped out with the teams. The latest on the Eagles, the Chiefs, how coaching could decide this game. Coming up next on The Insiders, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The kick is away and good!
Right now, the Eagles' chances are dim.
On the spot, 10 seconds on the clock, gonna show them what we got to offer. If you want, you can make it to the top, but you gotta learn how to suffer. It's my time, gotta lay it on the line, gotta show them just what I'm made of. Lights out, now there's no room for doubt, gotta focus on the goal. The winner takes all, pass the ball, reach for the stars, no stopping us. Winner takes all. Oh my God! No What's the score? We can go far, we ain't dropping this. The winner takes all.
I'm excited to get down to New Orleans. Let's go make history.
The winner takes all.
Look, I hear your Chiefs fatigue and your hate for the Eagles and all that stuff that you've been talking about for 2 weeks. Folks, we're inside 48 hours to what's going to be a really good football game for Super Bowl 59. And to let you know more about that, we've got our Cameron Wolf and Jane Slater at the team hotels. Hi, Judy Batista. You're with me. Mike Garofalo here. We're back on the Insiders. Cam, Andy Reid, been here, done that. What have you gleaned from the Chiefs players this week and the assistant coaches with regard to how he's handling this week and how his coaching style has maybe morphed over the years?
Yeah, Mike, we've got an excellent game with excellent coaching staffs here, but Chiefs players I talked to talked a lot about the Andy Reid factor, and they say it starts in training camp for him. The Chiefs regularly have one of the most grueling training camp practices, and when I talked to Patrick Mahomes about it, he said that Reid really wants them to start from the bottom. He said we've won, obviously, 2 titles in a row, but Andy Reid makes sure we are not complacent, that we don't get full of ourselves. And then as you go through the season, he gives us elements of fun. You know, we've seen some of their trick plays, the merry-go-round plays. He's 66 years old, but he can bring a 36-year-old youthfulness with it. And I thought Travis Kelce explained it well when he said, early in my career, me and Andy Reid didn't necessarily get along great, you know, but now I love him so much. I owe my career to him. Players have talked about how well he adjusts in-game and throughout the season to whatever they need. Throughout this practice week, they went helmets all week, not a lot of heavy practice load. That's Andy Reid knowing his team. Early in the season went hard, lighter later in the season. He could win this week and get his 4th Super Bowl title, would tie him second most among head coaches. And I had a Chiefs player ask me, why is Andy Reid up more frequently for Coach of the Year, which is an excellent question. He continues to win. He continues to do it his way. And the Chiefs know that if they win on Sunday, it'll be because of their discipline started by Andy Reid, not any other reason.
All right, Jane, on my notes here, it says I'm supposed to ask you Nick Sirianni superstitious, which might be the least surprising news of the entire week, that Nick Sirianni is superstitious. Tell us, is Nick Sirianni superstitious?
He's actually not superstitious, and I love that Cameron is wearing green right now at the Chiefs Hotel because that helps illustrate my point. He actually says he does the opposite of, and Andrew Groover, my producer, reminded me it's very George Costanza of him. I feel like Mike Garofalo is going to get that reference. You know, it's opposite of. So he said if he sat on a bench for one thing, and then somebody notices, hey, we lost that game and you were sitting on that bench, then he moves to the other side of the bench. And so I went out and got a full red outfit to wear on Sunday, since I feel like because I'm covering the Eagles, I sort of owe it to them. So we'll do opposite of. He said he used to be superstitious, but he said it got really old having to make sure you were always wearing the same sock or the same shoes or the same shirt. So, you know, it's just those little nuggets that I find interesting leading up to the week. You know, if you saw me looking behind me earlier, we've got players that have been coming and going. That's because it's family night. You know, they had a 2-hour grueling practice in the heat yesterday. It's really warm down here. It's kind of gotten a little bit better today. Not as humid, but they knocked out the tough one yesterday. Today, a bit more of just situational stuff in the red zone. They did some team drills. Tomorrow, it'll be a mock game. It'll be the team picture. But right now, it's just all about finalizing the details, the fundamentals. And on Sunday, I'm going to talk about my conversation with Frank Reich. You know, a lot this week was made from Sirianni about who we learned from, you know, who were his mentors. And the one thing that Frank Reich said that stood out about Nick Sirianni was just his attention to detail, those little fundamentals. It's the little things that make him so great. But yeah, the city is buzzing, guys. Players at least getting a little bit of a breather. You could tell by yesterday they were sort of tired of talking to us. And quite frankly, what more can you ask them at this point? So I think we're all just waiting for kickoff. And as you guys said, we are in the 48-hour window.
Cam, Jane, thank you. Go out there and enjoy the city tonight. And when we return on The Insiders, we are going to get a next-gen stats preview of the Super Bowl, and we're going to find out how Super Bowl 57 may play a role in Super Bowl 59 when we return.
Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. Love the moment, man.
3rd and 15, picked up by Mahomes at his shoe top. He'll scramble. He's at the 35, but he's ankle tackled there at the 36. Mahomes is hurt. He'll get up limping.
He's in agony on the sideline right now.
I'm good. Ball will be snapped. Left side wide open. Sky Moore, touchdown! Kansas City!
Hey, and we're in the wrong formation.
I know we were.
The kick is away and good!
We're Super Bowl champs, baby. Let's go.
Time now for a Super Bowl preview presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Greg Rosenthal joins us here on The Insiders for a few predictions for Super Bowl 59. We're going to start with the matchup between A.J. Brown and Trent McDuffie, the DraftKings line. 70.5 yards receiving for A.J. Brown, the over or the under there.
Let's go over there. Trent McDuffie, sneaky, not as good on the outside. I think people kind of think of him as one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he is when he's playing on the inside. So if he gets the matchup that he wants, which is McDuffie on the outside or Jalen Watson, a guy who we haven't heard a lot about this week. Maybe it's Najee Johnson, a guy that can't really match up with A.J. Brown. You think about that last Super Bowl. You think about that beautiful touchdown that A.J. Brown has. Let's go over.
A.J. Brown on the Insiders yesterday, one-on-one with our Stacey Dales, started to allude to the fact that I think he's a big part of the game plan coming up. He goes, I don't want to give you the whole game plan, and he stopped and then gave her the best non-answer he possibly could. So let's see if A.J. Brown's confidence is rewarded there. The Chiefs, can they slow down Saquon Barkley? All these teams leading up to the game against the Eagles, we've got to stop Saquon. In the first play of the game, the Commanders get gashed. The DraftKings line over under 112.5 rush yards.
I love it when you read those lines, Mike. I'm going over. Chiefs defense, sneaky, not great against the ground in the playoffs. Outside zone runs, James Cook had a great game. Joe Mixon had a great game, averaging over about 9 yards per carry on outside runs. That's where Saquon does his damage. Kansas City has the size to kind of match up with Philadelphia's offensive line more than most teams do. But at some point, if I'm picking the Eagles to win, and I'm giving you bonus picks here, then they're going to be having the lead, and he's going to get over that number because he'll have the volume.
They call that a parlay. That's what they call it. That's two sneakies, by the way, with Greg. If you're going to win some of these bets here, you got to be sneaky. All right, Patrick Mahomes against the Philly top-ranked defense. The DraftKings line over under 252 and a half passing yards.
Let's go under for that one. Love this zone defense that they play. Maybe no team in the NFL better at doing what they call like zone match, where they're passing off the defenders in the middle of the route. So I think it's a low game.
Thank you, Greg Rosenthal. Sneaky good predictions from you there. Here are the lines for DraftKings same game parlay. DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns this season. And for Super Bowl 59, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the app and use promo code INSIDERS when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
As a player, evaluating yourself, you're all about, did the Eagles win, did they not win? How did you get to that point?
By losing.
Super Bowl champs, baby. Let's go.
Now I'm ready.
Let's bring in Sam Schwartz, Sting Prime Video and Thursday Night Football's analytics expert, to use next-gen stats to preview a Super Bowl rematch. Sam, both these teams come in with 17 wins. They got there in different ways. What's similar about the Eagles and Chiefs?
Yeah, both offenses are great. They have really stout defenses, but it's their ability to utilize fourth down that's made them special offenses this season. Both ranking near the top of the success rate, when that's looking at how often are you helping your team's chance to win on converting those scenarios, and both are upwards of 70% in conversion, but they're very different. The Chiefs have around like the 6th lowest yards to go on fourth down, and the Eagles have the second lowest yards to go on fourth down. Mahomes will utilize his legs to convert, but when you see the Eagles up there, get ready to experience the tush push or the brotherly shove. Hopefully we don't have some official come in and say, hey, we got to reward a touchdown, but really utilizing those fourth downs is going to be key for both teams.
We've got a pretty good idea how Patrick Mahomes is going to perform in a big game, right? How does Jalen Hurts play? What do the numbers tell us about it?
Yeah, it's all about will he be able to convert when it's under pressure, because he's one of the best quarterbacks when he is not pressured. When you're looking at not pressured, his EPA per dropback is 4th in the NFL. Now, EPA per dropback is a measurement of how much are you helping your team's chance of scoring based on down distance location on field. It really contextualizes the yards that they get, and he's one of the best. It drops to nearly negative 0.39 EPA per dropback when he's under pressure, and he should expect that. We saw what Steve Spagnuolo was able to do last time on the AFC Championship game to be able to bring those cover zero blitzes, meaning an all-out blitz, to try and get that pressure, and that's exactly what Jalen Hurts is going to see on Sunday.
At times over the last couple of seasons, it's almost seemed like the Chiefs can just kind of get by with good enough September, October, November. Then they kind of turn it on, especially guys like Travis Kelce, who have played a whole lot of games. What have you seen that's different with the Chiefs now that we're in postseason time?
Yeah, they're going to get everyone's best in the regular season, and they're just going to hold on. But what Patrick Mahomes does so well is his ability to utilize his legs come postseason. In the regular season, he only scrambled 5% of the time. It's up to 15% of his dropbacks that he's able to get on the run and get those yards on those running plays or being able to move outside the pocket. Now, here's the key stat. We just showed you what EPA was. Well, when you look at the scramble EPA plus the sack EPA, we call that SCRAC EPA. He's the only quarterback that has 0 right now in the NFL. Everyone else is negative.
Was that SCRAC?
We got some SCRAC. SCRAC EPA. We come up with new stats every week, Tom.
This is our SCRAC man. He's the analytics expert for Thursday Night Football, Next Gen Stats. Sam Schwartzy, thanks a lot for being here all season, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, coming up after this, what a night at NFL Honors. And nobody gave a better speech, no prompter, by the way, than this guy, Eric Armstead, here from the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award winner, and a lot more coming up next on The Insiders, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. The NFL's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, given last night to Eric Armstead, the Jaguars' standout defensive lineman who does so much in the community, including for literacy efforts, and he gave one heck of a speech at NFL Honors.
And even though I'm being honored tonight, I don't feel that tonight is about me or our organization. Tonight is about all of you in this room right here and everyone watching at home. We live in a world that constantly tries to divide us, whether that's politically, economically, racially, sexual orientation. We're constantly being divided. But I believe in humanity. I believe that we are all more alike than we are different. And I believe that all of us have the power to be the change that we want to see in our society. And no act is too big and no act is too small. But I just encourage you to try to be a blessing in someone else's life and see how that changes your life. Let's define success by a new metric, not by the things that we acquire, but by how many people we positively impact. And this is a night that I'll never forget. And I thank you and I appreciate you, and have a good night.
Time now for Active Mike, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Also honored last night and unveiled the 2025 class for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Jared Allen, a very deserving selection, one of the greatest pass rushers of his era. Also getting in, that man, Eric Allen, the longtime Eagles defensive back, who caught up with our Steve Weich.
Eric, was it worth the wait? Yes, it was. Of course it was worth the wait. You know, and like I told you before, I think when you talk about time, eventually it reveals the truth. And it's just a matter of time. But it was a perfect situation. You and Randall at the door, couldn't have been any better. And this small class, but Sterling Sharp, me and him were battling coming out of college in all-star games. We have a great relationship. He's, matter of fact, the only guy I would talk to on the football field while playing. We always were cracking
like
up.
Trash talk or talk?
Yeah, it's both of us, like, stop holding me, Sterling. You're cheating right now. I'm talking to the refs, telling them, hey, man, this dude is too big. He should be playing fullback instead of receiver. So it was a perfect day, I just couldn't have wished it anymore. The only thing you think about is all those people who were able to pour things into me who are not going to be able to be here, and that's the only thing. Other than that, man, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
How much of a weekend would it be you go into the hall and your Eagles walk out with the Lombardi?
That's why it's perfect, right? The birds are here to fly. And, it's a perfect scenario, perfect setting. I played here for a couple of years in New Orleans, but the birds are here and ready to fly. They have a complete football team, guys. We know they're going to get the dub.
Okay, so there it is, the prediction and the gold jacket, man. Congratulations to you. You got it.
You, man. Yep, for sure.
Patrick Mahomes has a chance to do on Sunday something that Tom Brady never did, 3 consecutive Super Bowl wins. So does the GOAT feel good about that, or would he prefer that Mahomes not get that one on the old resume? We'll hear from Tom Brady coming up right after this on The Insiders, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Four years ago today, Tom Brady got Super Bowl win number 7 on the 7th of February as the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady, in comments released by Fox, which of course he'll be working that game for on Sunday, said that if Patrick Mahomes gets a 3rd straight Super Bowl, something that Brady never did, nobody will be happier than me. I don't know.
That doesn't sound right at all.
No way.
It's a magnanimous way of saying it. I'll say this.
Oh, excuse me.
Nobody is happier than me that Nick from our IT department was able to figure out that when our comms were going out repeatedly as we sit here in an active construction zone, it was because forklifts were driving over the wire that is taped down. So shout out to Nick. It's everybody around us.
It's like, remember seeing Robin Hood Men in Tights when he's like, to say it exactly to Mississippi, I'm on the East Bank, I'm on the West Bank.
That's our man. He's standing there. He's guarding. He's holding the line, Ian.
It's impressive. And I think to make this operation work, it takes more than us just blabbering nonsense for a while. It takes an entire village.
Ian.
This crew is awesome.
We gotta go.
We got to go?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Okay, I'm done. That's true. We're good. I'm done. Goodbye.
30 seconds left. All right. I don't know what this is, but
Yeah, let them do their thing.
all right, they're leaving like everybody else. Yeah, take off the jacket, Mike, before you go through this. We wouldn't want your jacket to get wrinkled in the midst of whatever the hell this is. Okay. Now we got it. Oh. Of all the things I thought might happen, Garofalo nearly dying while jumping on a golf cart. Not high on the list. Guess what? We still have another Insiders tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. See you.